So I wanted to talk about something that, frankly, a lot of people are probably tired of hearing about on YouTube, on social media in general, uh, which is interracial relationships, specifically between Black and white people. I know there's like 1,000 different kinds of interracial relationships, but I want it to be specific because I think what I'm talking about kind of only applies to these dynamics. Particularly, I wanted to talk about how some Black men react very strongly, very negatively between they react very negatively towards relationships between white men and Black women, when on the other hand they're either indifferent towards or in support of relationships between Black men and white women. And lately, I've just been thinking about why that is. I mean, the obvious answer is misogyny. A lot of men see women as collectively the property of men. So when a Black man dates a white woman, it's like he took that woman from white men. And so when the reverse happens, it's like, oh, white men took that Black woman from us. That white man took that Black woman from us. They don't really see women as having any type of agency in their dating and who they choose to date. Or they don't think we should. Even if they're not particularly attracted to that Black woman who's dating a white man, or if they're not even attracted to Black women, period, they still might feel a way about it. And they'll use it and they'll talk about slavery and like, this happened. Oh, white men raped Black women during slavery. How could you do that? Yes, the legacy of slavery hasn't ended, especially in the relationship dynamics between Black and white people. But I still feel like that's a bad argument, simply because Black women today aren't slaves, and we have agency, and we have the Black women who are, I think it's kind of disgusting to equate a consensual relationship between two people with women who had no agency, no choice in what happened to their bodies and what other people did to their bodies. Like, it's disgusting. The term bedwench is disgusting. And also, it kind of glosses over the lack of agency Black men had back then. But I think I'm starting to go off on a tangent now. But what I also want to talk about was, like, I think another reason why they don't, I think another reason why they feel like they feel away is because, yeah, while a black man dating a white woman, his social capital is kind of heightened, at least among other black men. A white woman's social capital is lowered by dating a black man for the most part. Like, even if he is successful and wealthy, there was another video where a white woman, I think she was talking to her boyfriend about how a lot of white men see a lot of white men see white women who date black men as sort of tainted, like their value has kind of decreased. And I think they feel a certain way about that, and they should. Like, I just think it's disgusting. It's terrible that this idea that someone, I can't imagine how it would feel that there's this consensus, there's this idea that someone being with me decreases their value. Like, it even happens in like the adult entertainment industry. Like, white adult film actresses, if they've ever been on film with a black man, they can't demand the same amount of money. Like, the value of their body has gone down for the simple act of being filmed with a black man. Like, that's like the most on the nose, the most blatant example of that. And I do think it plays out in like mainstream society as well, but not so blatant. And with black women dating white men, that's not necessarily the case. I don't really think a black woman's social capital is raised by being with a white man necessarily. But a white man's social capital definitely isn't lowered. It's kind of hard to bring down the people who are on top, so they can almost do whatever they want in that way. What else was there? But also, it's the power dynamic. Like, we live in a white supremacist patriarchy. What I'm trying to say is, they might, I hate this term, but I think black men feel kind of emasculated when they see a white man with a black woman. They might feel like, because they might feel like they can't, like, maybe that white man can provide for that black woman better than he can, because statistically speaking, white men earn more money thanks to the legacy of slavery, of Jim Crow, of discrimination, of hundreds of years of discrimination against black people, of white people oppressing and dominating over black people. There is a big discrepancy in wealth between white and black people. And because of patriarchy, there's a discrepancy in wealth between white, but there's a discrepancy in wealth between men and women. So there's this idea that a black woman with a white man might end up better off in a way that a white woman with a black man wouldn't have. Because theoretically that white woman could have been with a white man and been even better off. Could have been with somebody with more money, with more resources, with more power. And I don't think black men would outwardly say that, but I think that's deep down where those feelings of resentment and anger towards black women who date white men really comes from. What else? I was gonna say something else, but I'm like trying to remember what I was gonna say because I didn't write anything down. I'm trying to be off the cuff right now. So those are my opinions about the dynamics between black and white interracial relationships. Some people might see this and think, oh, you're generalizing. Not all black men are like this. And like, yes, I'm generalizing. You have to generalize in these kinds of situations. Like, I'm not going to be saying, oh, some black men think like this, but not all. I shouldn't have to like specify that. It should be like common sense. Also, this isn't a research paper. These are just my opinions. I could be wrong. I could change my opinions about this. It's just something I've been mulling over in my mind for these past few days, and I'm trying to work it out. I would love to hear other people's thoughts on this, a different perspective, maybe different theories about why that is, about why certain types of interracial relationships are seen as worse than others. I think that's it for now.